Hey, all right. So today we're gonna do something crazy. I'm gonna do an entire garden in one day. I think I needed two people to do this, but I'm gonna try to pull this off. I got a late start, so here's what we do. I'm gonna go throughout the day, and we're gonna do the Marko felt garden. So this is what I start off with: is grass at this little farmhouse here in the middle of downtown Huron, Ohio. What I did is I got my little rototiller and I did my first rototill. Now I was supposed to start at 7, but you know how that goes. By the time I got all my stuff, showed up on the property, it was 10. So this is my first rototill. I went down 4 inches. Okay, this is a pretty big one. It's gonna be, I don't know, 16 by 16, probably like 360 square feet. Then I'm gonna redo my rototiller and go down 6 inches, 8 inches. Once I get to 8, then I'm going to do this. Get your own compost. I'm cheating because I didn't have time to go to Menor to get my normal stuff. So that's what took me this morning. I got this crap. This is crap. $3 a bag, and I got like, I don't know, 15 bags. So I'm going to dump this stuff on top of that and rototill it one more time. Then what we're going to do is get this stuff called felt. I'm Marko the felt gardener. See that felt? Okay. And hey Lenny, how you doing? I'm gonna take that felt, and I've done this now. Remember I said earlier this year I was gonna do 4 gardens. Well, this is the 4th garden here. And you put the felt down, and look at this. I did this one last week, and look at this thing. It's beautiful. And then what I do is I get a torch, and maybe you'll get to watch me do some burning today. I got a torch, I burn the holes, and then I drill the holes. So that's kind of cool. We're going to do that. So the first video is just showing you that I'm going to try to pull this off is rototill virgin grass. By the way, this grass, I've owned this lot here for, I don't know, 20 years. So there's no pesticides on it, okay? And then we're gonna rototill it, we're gonna felt it, we're gonna lay it out, we're gonna burn it, and then we're gonna use, I've got a little bit of compost left, some horse manure, which I kind of want to get more of. I got a thing of it here. That's actually compost. Underneath here is horse manure that's aged with worms. I have just enough to finish this garden. And what is dripping here? Is that weird? That's so weird. Is it raining? I don't know. There's water dripping here, but it's not raining. There's no clouds. So we're gonna use hey Lydia, how you doing? There's my torch. We're gonna torch it up. That's my garden tools back there. Then later we're gonna use rags. I'll show you how to do that. I've showed you guys how to do that, but we buy rags, cotton rags, we cut them up, and that's how we tie up our sticks. Now I don't know if I'll get to the sticking and the tying up ragging today because it's already 11:30. I didn't start rototilling until 10, and I wasted 2 hours getting stuff. So I will come back later, and maybe I'll do it in 2 hours. I'll keep you updated, and let's see if I can pull off a garden. Fat man, limping with gout, with a cold. Garden Marko. So we'll see you guys a little bit later. Thanks, Thomas Hafner. What's up, buddy? I'm going to keep you posted today, and we're going to move on, and we're going to see what we could do in one day, one guy. What I want to do, just so this is the goal, I got this thing called Save the Planet, one garden at a time. And my goal of life now has been to convert every front property grass that you see into a garden. Think about this. John Deere's making money. You ain't getting shit. Think about it. Pesticides. So Bayer and Monsanto are making money, and you're killing our fish. And then you go to the grocery store and you buy all that food that's been poisoned and sprayed and radiated. So what if we all had a garden in our front yard like this, and we would share our food with our neighbors? We wouldn't watch TV and waste our time and life and get poisoned by mass media mainstream. We'd be healthy because we'd be probably not heavy like me. We'd be healthy because we'd be growing our own food that wasn't poisoned. with chemicals and pesticides. And this whole front yard thing is a sham. This is a sham. Everybody should have a garden. And guess what? We would save the planet. We'd have oxygen. We would save everything. We wouldn't have to take medicine. We wouldn't be sick. Think about that for a minute. So I'm going to do save the garden, save the world, one garden at a time in your front yard in one day. That's what I'm going to try to do today. So I'll keep coming on. I'm going to maybe 2 or 3 more times. We'll see. Hopefully I'll make it. Thanks for coming on. I'll be back in a few with the next step. All right, so this is video 2 of today's do a garden in a day. And so I'm at the felt stage now. I actually raked up. First I rototilled probably like 7 passes. I put down this stuff. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. It actually had worms in it. It claims to be compost that's organic. So about 13 bags, and I kind of mixed it in. And I was thinking, if the grass grows and we cut the grass, the shavings go right back, or the grass goes right back into the ground. So the soil can't be all that bad. Okay, so there's probably got a lot of nutrients in it. If the grass grows in it, I'm sure my vegetables will. So what we're doing is we're going to put down this tarp, and we're going to pin it down on the ends. I think I over rototilled a little bit here, but grass will grow. And I still have to rake this. What I'm doing here is just raking seed, or the grass. Hey Rocco, hey Dorothy, how we doing? How's everybody doing? This is the second video I did earlier. If you want to see how I started with the grass, we're doing what's called Do a Garden in a Day by Clevelandmarko. We're going to save the planet one garden at a time. That's going to be my new motto here. So I'm going to take some of this grass, and what ended up happening is kind of slowed me down. Is then I decided I'm going to do that, like my little wagon I garbage picked at, and I decided what am I going to do with all this grass. So now I'm going around the yard filling in the holes. The hole in your yard that you trip on every day. Look at the hole right here. I mean, that's a leg breaker. And so I'm actually recycling some of this into the yard and making it safer, making it easier to cut. So what we're going to do here is we're going to rake this up one more time. We're going to lay the felt. We're going to pin the felt down. And then the next step is going to be, I'm going to measure the felt out, and I'm going to burn holes. Today what we're going to do is we're going to plant. Oh shoot, the sun. I want to put too much sun over here. We're going to plant. We're going to plant onions. Okay. We got some stuff in here we're going to plant, and this stuff doesn't like the sun. Maybe we gotta move it. Sorry. We're going to move it into my car. We don't want it to die before it gets into the dirt, right? And so, anyways, sorry about that, but I don't want to plant dead plants. So let's put these in the car. All right. Sorry about that. So, by the way, you notice I took the rototiller back. So the rototiller, hey, if you get a rototiller, you don't need a truck. Get a van and get a rototiller that fits. Measure it, and then you buy those ramps for like $60, $50, and you can move your rototiller right in your van. That's kind of what I do. Wheelbarrows are fine. Looks like I've been using a wagon. So we're going to do a little bit later, and I'll come back. We're going to lay this out, then we're going to take this torch you see right there, burn out our holes, and then we'll drill the holes. I got to get my drill, and we'll drill the holes and start planting. So I'll come back in a little bit. It's 2 o'clock now, so maybe I'm hoping by 4 to have this laid out. Maybe 4:30 drilled. I'll probably take a break. I took a lunch too, so I took a half-hour break, and then we'll probably start planting. And then we got to do a store run sometime before the late evening, and then we'll water, and what we'll do this thing called micro fertilize. We're going to micro fertilize, and that's going to be a new thing I'm adding to the Clevelandmarko felt garden system. Anyways, there's all the front yards with all the grass that people cut and weed and waste time on. And I think we need to put gardens in our front yards. If the whole world put gardens in the front yard, imagine that. Anyways, we'll come back a little bit later. The goal is to finish this, plant it, and water it in one day. All right, well, this is the third video. It's 4 o'clock. I'm pressing for time now. But as you can see, the felt is down and stapled pretty nicely to the ground. I've actually started planting, and I won't water them yet because once the felt gets wet, it's very hard to burn holes into it. So I'm gonna have to water this soon. These are onions that I started, or I didn't start, Mark started them for me, and hopefully they'll take up. So I did I don't know, probably like 40 of them I have here. And then I've got, in those other holes there, I planted seeds. So I'm gonna start a little bit late on seed. Those are cilantro. And then here, you'll see in the next video what I'm gonna plant. But let's show you. So what I do is I measure these out, and those are 12 inches. I should have went 8, but I have a problem on stepping on plants, so I kind of made them wider. And then these are gonna be bigger things. So these are 24. And so the next step I'm gonna do is after the felt, we're going to turn on our gas. Okay, let's see, this is a propane tank. Okay, and this is a torch that people would use. Good. I'm trying to do this work and use the camera, so apologize. I'm gonna hold the camera up and turn on the gas. Got the gas going, you hear it? And we'll use a little lighter. Maybe we won't. There it is. All right. So we all know that's a torch, right? So this is pretty cool. So what you do, hopefully don't burn your skin off your legs. You just kind of get down, kind of low to it, and you burn a hole. I usually step on them because what happens is they start on fire if you don't, and then the hole gets too big. And I'm trying to make the hole just big enough for my drill, which I'm going to show you here momentarily how we drill the holes out. So we started earlier this morning. The goal was to plant an entire garden, roughly 300-400 square foot, with maybe 150 plants in one day, one guy. And this is not your typical conventional gardening, by the way. I kind of invented most of this stuff. The reason I do it this way, I don't have to get on my knees as much, you know, to dig holes, and my knees are kind of bad. Hold on a second. We're going to show you how to drill holes in a second. And doing it this way, and when I don't have to dig holes either as much with the drill, you're probably wondering why my stuff isn't exactly 2 foot. Well, I hate doing things perfect. You know what the problem is? Everybody wants to do everything perfect. Everything. You know what? When you do everything perfect, you probably waste 30% of your life trying to make everything perfect. Where you could have a lot more time to do other stuff, as long as, I gotta move this here. A couple more holes and then we're gonna get out the drill. The first video was rototilling. It's on my Facebook. I did it earlier today. We started rototilling at 10. And I'm a little bit close to these peppers here. They don't like this kind of heat. So hopefully I didn't damage them. I'm protecting the, if you notice, I am protecting the plants I just planted with a board and some felt. because those are going to be huge onions. And so we're almost done here. See how fast I did this? Man, I used to have to cut these with a knife. So let me turn this off here. That's how you do it. So we're going to get to the drill part now. Let me turn off the gas. All right, let me get this thing out of here. All right, so I'm still trying to do all this work with a camera in one hand. I use spray paint. Hey, John, Jim, Kathy, what's up? Hey, Kathy, Myron. Uh-oh, what happened? All right, let me wave. Okay, so we drilled these holes. Now, the reason I'm not doing it all at one time is because I don't know what I got left. I'm trying to mix and match here, so I'll just do quadrants. And so now here's the drilling part. And I got a couple different drill bits. And what I usually do with the drilling, I'll put my feet on two sides and I'll drill. Okay? I'll try to get down, I don't know, 8 inches. I'll leave the dirt there. I'll tell you why. And then what I do is you're probably wondering why I have such a cheap drill. Well, I've been in the house fixing business my whole life, and people steal my tools. So I don't buy expensive tools anymore. So if they steal this drill, guess what? They can have it. I'm not building houses. We're not building houses here. We're just drilling the holes in dirt, you know? All right, so now I'm going to show you what else I do. Okay? I'll just drill a few because I don't want you to watch me do all this. All right, that's the last one for now. All right. So then I'll drill all these holes out. Hey, Ezra. Hey, Jeremiah. For people coming in, we're doing what's called build a garden, one fat guy in one day, and that's what I'm doing. So this is going to be a 300 square foot garden. I started this morning. I did just waste some time getting things. So now what I like to do is I have this is called fertilizer right here, and this is got worms in it. So I take 1 scoop, dump it in. Well, I made 2 scoops. 2 scoops, right? Everyone wants 2 scoops. I'll put 2 scoops in here, all right? 2.5 scoops, all right? And what I'll do is I'll put this is aged fertilizer with worms in it. It's probably 5 years old, horse manure and some other stuff. Now I don't know what they feed the horses, so I'm taking a chance, but it's good stuff. It's got worms in it. The worms like it. It's probably good. And then what I'll do is I'll drop one of these in the hole, and then I'll push the dirt back in. So this is we're pushing 4 o'clock now, 4:30, and we still have to make a run to the store, which is a half hour away. We still have to get poles. I still got to plant all this, and then I have to water it, and then I'm going to micro fertilize it. I just made that word up. That just means you throw the fertilizer on the mat and use a spray hose and spray it in the hole. So you can throw your fertilizer on the mat and just spray it in when you want. After a while, the mat gets pretty clean. See this one here? So this one went, I probably watered this a couple times. See how clean this mat is? And look at these puppies, man. They're doing good. You're probably yelling at me because I haven't tied them up. So I gotta get over here. I want to do that today. I don't know. I might have to wait till... I only had today to do this. We got to finish that too, right? So I don't know. Hey guys, we're going to have to tie you up on Friday. Yeah, Friday. If I don't get... I got a morning open, so we'll come here and do that. All right, so if you want to see the earlier videos, they're on my Facebook. I started this morning. This is number 3, and I'll come back later when there's more done. All right, thanks for coming on. This is what I call Save the Planet with a Garden. No, Save the Planet a garden at a time. And earlier I talked about how sad it is that we have been programmed by our owners to have green grass. How stupid is that? All of us are complete brainwashed zombies who grow grass because it looks good. Ooh, look how good my grass looks. Look, I don't have any weeds. They program you for that. You're programmed. You think this is what you need? No, you don't need this. This wastes your time and life. You sit on your lawnmower and your John Deere. Oh, I like this. It's very comforting. You're lying, man. You could be doing a lot more stuff. What if we all had gardens in our front yards and no grass? We could barter our food. We could eat better. We could create carbon dioxide, oxygen. We wouldn't be sick. We wouldn't have to eat all that GMO crap they're feeding us. And we could barter and make deals. It would be a great world. We need to save the planet one garden at a time. Anyways, in your front yard. This is a front yard garden. That's what I'm trying to prove today. One day you could do a garden by yourself, skip that ball game or whatever. Okay, I got to get back to work. I'll be back in a couple hours, and let's see if we finish this. Thanks for coming on. Hey, Greg. All right, well, we finished. The goal was to create a 350, 400 square foot garden in a day, and I finished. I even watered it. I staked it. I ran out of stakes, and I was going to tie some of the stuff up, but we'll just come back for that. I didn't do a whole lot of I did a little bit of fertilizer. I put it in on the mat, so when I watered it, the fertilizer gets pushed into the hole. So that's kind of cool with this type of method. You could just spray the mat, and then it pushes the water to the vegetable. Well, obviously it was a really hot day, so some of these guys, Art, Dorothy, some of these guys didn't like the hot. You know what? They're going to come back. All right. I planted my onions, a lot of green stuff here, cucumbers. There's different types of peppers. I did a couple different onions. I did cilantro back there, seed. I also had time to plant this little garden. So that's there's going to be dill and cilantro there. And so what's nice about the mat is that you just water the mat and the dirt will go into the hole. And if you want to throw some fertilizer on the mat, go for it. Whatever you want to throw on the mat to give your plants, just throw it on there, and then you could sit on the sideline and hose it with the high pressure. You're just hitting the mat. You're not hitting your plants. I didn't want to water earlier, even though it was hot, because you're not supposed to. So I waited till now to do it. I did take 3 breaks. Hey, Brian. Hey, Dorothy. Hey, Vladimir. How you all doing? I did take a bunch of breaks today. I even went home and made dinner. So, you know, making a garden, a 400 square foot garden in an afternoon is a really easy task. So, no excuse. So now think about how much money I'm going to save by not paying the grass cutting boy. As of now, I'm going to call him up. I'm joking, Joe. I'm still going to pay you. But I don't really have to, because I got rid of about 1,000 square feet of grass cutting. So that should be a discount. Hey, Edna. If you guys are just tuning in, today I did about 4 videos. I started early in the morning. And the goal was to be able to, in one day, rototill, plant an entire garden. Well, Dorothy wants to know how far I did the tomatoes. They're 2 feet, Dorothy. Okay. And I'm going up because here's the problem with me. The problem is those cages. I get tangled up in them. I trip in them. The cages suck. They really do. And then you got to store them. And my God, if you've got 500 plants. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Hey, Mark, I planted all your stuff. I'll go there and let you look at it in a minute. And you could yell at me if I did it wrong. And so I like to go up. And I don't use, I buy a bag of rags, like washing rags for $8. They're cotton. Then I cut the ends with scissors and I just rip them. And I make these little small strips. And the rags kind of like, they're springy, you know, and they don't hurt and damage the fruit. And so you're probably wondering why I'm staking it. Well, the reason I stake it is if I don't stake it, I step on them. And you know what? Every year I end up stepping on my stuff. And it really pisses you off when you step on a cucumber or something. You know, it's like, so a cucumber's $1 at the store. You step on one, that's $1, right? So these things cost me $1. And I get them at Menards. And I buy them when they got the 11%. So they actually cost me less, like 90 cents. But, you know, you could keep using them. Hello, Edna. So here's the first part of the garden I did last week. And look how good it's doing. I haven't even fertilized it yet. Well, I fertilized it with the stuff I had, but I will do some fertilizing here real soon, but not yet. I have to tie this stuff up. And I haven't ripped off the suckers on the tomatoes yet. And so it's looking good. The peppers are looking good. And here's today. And these holes here, I went and got some seed. That's all cilantro. And then there's about 50 onions there. I got some onions from Mark today and he gave them to me, and that's what they are. Hopefully they'll make it. They didn't like the hot weather. We did pretty good rototilling today. And then we planted a bunch of peppers. A lot of green stuff too. You know, kale. And other. So this is the garden. And you know what else I did is some of the dirt I filled in holes. Look at that. That was a hole that you could trip in. I had about 4 wheelbarrows of grassy stuff because the grass was kind of long. So I'm filling in holes on this property. And I did it. Like I said, you could do a garden, a front yard garden, like that house right there. Look at that. See that yard right there? Somebody's got to cut that grass, pull the weeds. Look at that. Look at those weeds growing. Then the city will cite you and give you a ticket. You know what? Rototill the whole damn thing. Get rid of it. Get rid of John Deere and Toro. Don't waste any gas. Only time you're going to waste gas is that rototilling. Rototill this whole thing. Lay down your tarps. The reason we do tarps, or I do tarps, I'm pretty lazy. I'm a very busy guy. I don't got time to pull weeds. And so you're not going to get a whole lot of weeds with the tarps. They come up at the plants, and once you water them, you can pull them right out. It's pretty easy. But you can plant a garden right there, get a couple 100 pounds of produce out of this thing, save yourself 1,000 in food or more. Then you could, if he had a garden, then you guys could swap. You could have like tomatoes and he could have potatoes. Think about that. A couple of tomatoes for a couple of potatoes. So I think the whole thing here was putting gardens in our front yards. We could save the planet one garden at a time. So I thank you for all coming on and watching the videos today. Excuse me. We did some burning with the torch. We did some drilling with the drill. It was kind of fun. Now I'm sure you could probably do these gardens cheaper without the felt. They take a little bit, might be even quicker. But so thanks for coming on. And this will end today's journey into gardening in one day. Thanks.